All right, guys, working on replacing the starter. Got the primary off. If you don't know how to do that, check out YouTube. Plenty of channels on how to do that. Basically, took the slack out of the clutch cable, removed it from up top right here, and we pulled out this pin, pulled out the lever, removed it from up there, took off the controls derby cover, took out the disconnected the clutch cable and pulled off the primary cover. So that's how I did that. There's plenty of videos on that, but basically what I'm gonna do now to replace the starter is it looks like there's two bolts, one right here and one right here that I'm gonna get to. Apparently this one you have to as you're doing it, it won't come out past these teeth, so you have to pull the pull the starter out away from it, so you get to keep getting that bolt out. So we'll go ahead and start tackling that now. All right, guys, got this first bolt out, no problem. Really fine thread compared to what Harley usually uses on stuff. All right, slap that right there, and then this one's gonna be a little bit tricky. Okay, so let's see. All right, so that bolt wasn't too bad to get to at all. So got those two bolts out, and I'm gonna take a look around and see what else needs to come off, but it looks like it's pretty dang loose. Okay, check the other side. All right, had a serious wrestling match to get this starter out. Oh, there it is. Dang, dude. Okay, so what it was, why it was so difficult to get off, there's a little clip down there that you can just pull off, but you got to get underneath it to pull that clip out. And then this little nut right here kept getting caught in these oil lines. That's not good. But what we'll do, we'll clean this up right here and go ahead and get the new piece in. There's the old one, and then here's the new one. So again, here's the old one and here's the new one. So we'll get this new one in and see what she does. Gonna transfer over that positive terminal. One thing about the new starter, it doesn't have the threads right there for the clip that holds the oil lines. So the oil lines might be a little bit loose. I don't know, I have to look into that. I'm sure there's a way to fix it, but just gonna kind of run this one as is. But yeah, take in mind, this one from Amazon doesn't have the clip, doesn't have the threads right there where you can put a nut on and use a clip. Here, I should kind of show you. But there's a little clip right here. I don't know if I can see that. It's this piece right here that holds these three oil lines. And it's got a little down there. It would hook on. I'm sure there's a way I could rig it up, but I think it'll be fine the way it is. So I'm gonna run it. Another thing, guys, the gasket stayed on the old starter when I pulled it off. I don't know if it could be reused, but it definitely looks, it's got some cracks right there up top. So definitely looks like something I want to replace. This Amazon starter was supposed to come with a gasket. It did not, so I went to Harley and bought one from there. And I think it was like $6, but it only goes one way. It looks like, let's see. Yeah, like that. It only goes on one way, so that should be the right direction for it. And matches the other one. So we'll go ahead and put that on there. And here's the part number. Okay, so we'll get that on, get that in the bike, and get it back together. One thing I'm gonna do before I install it or put it in, I'm gonna try connecting this little wire, the one I disconnected earlier. Didn't get a real positive click, but it seems like it's in. I think this is the trigger wire or something, what they call it. Okay, it would seem as if it's fully seated, so we're gonna roll with that. I have to kind of massage this thing in. Without beating too much stuff up. All right, I got that starter wrestled in. It was quite the job to get this this bolt in right here, because I had to have the starter out, pulled back just enough to where it can get this behind the teeth, and then just trying to start it without, you know, messing up the threads or anything at the weird angle. So eventually got that bolt in, got this one right here in, and torqued those to spec. I don't have the service manual. I wish I did. Should have it. If you're tearing apart your bike, you should have it, but I have too many bikes to have a service manual for each one of them. I wish I did, really do. So I found it on the forums, what some guys said. I'm not even going to advertise it. If you guys want the torque spec, go find it yourself. Refer to your service manual. But torque that down to what they say on the forums was the spec, and I'm gonna start putting the primary back together. All right, so I got the primary back on. You guys refer to your service manual for the torque specs on that in a sequence, but I'm gonna pour this, whoa. It's the primary fluid from Harley Davidson. Put a fresh bottle in there, even though I just took it out. Okay, I'll give that a second to get all the way out. Basically, down in there at the bottom of this clutch basket, there's some teeth, and you want to make sure, put a flashlight in there, make sure the water, sorry, that the fluid is oil's touching the bottom of that teeth. Or basically, if you look at the manual, there's a spec and it tells you where exactly you want that oil line. But if you pour a full bottle in, it should be right there if you drained it out. Everything out, full bottle should do. All right, so I think that's good. Okay. Not sure what you guys will be able to see, but there's the fluid right there. It's coming to the bottom of the basket down there, so I'm good to go with the bottom of the teeth. You'll see it on the manual when you look at it, but it's right there. Perfect. So I'll tighten up this derby cover and start it up. All right, there are plenty of videos online showing you how to do this, so I'm not gonna try and make a tutorial or anything like that, but kind of show you what I'm doing here. I know I didn't show taking it apart, but one good thing, you want to make sure you get a nice a flat head that's got, it'll go all the way through. That way you don't have any problems with it touching, because I had a bigger one earlier, it stopped short. Okay, start figuring out which way to thread this. I think it's reverse threaded, yep. Basically the deal with this thing is, from what I understand, there's a torque spec on it. Basically you go to where you start to feel resistance. That's too far past. So you would go from where you start to feel resistance. First bit of resistance is there, and then you back it off a quarter turn. So mess with mine a little bit more, just get a good feel for it. Back it off. So it should spin, okay. It spins good. And then here, quarter turn. So resistance, spin, resistance, quarter turn. And that's where I'll leave it for now. I got my derby cover where this piece goes right here. All right, if you can see that, I got some grease in there, so it's gonna help this thing be retained. Let me go ahead and pop that in there. All right, much better, got it on there perfectly. It's got some little retainers kind of there, and there on each side of it, but they don't do a great job. The grease helps quite a bit. And then now I'll put this cover on, and I already kind of greased it up. What that does is kind of helps it massage into place when I tighten it up so it doesn't kink itself. Just put a little grease on the edge right there.